he made a list of stuff that he wanted us to do for him for his funeral. But he did it so many times over the years, never thought that maybe we would have to come up and, plan his funeral the way he wanted.
Is it a case of ghastly foreshadowing her own demise? That's a question that a close friend of Vanessa Champagne Paris is asking herself today. The transgender young lady, born Porfilia Rodriguez, died on Friday under mysterious circumstances. She took ill after a brief visit to Belize City 2 days earlier.
He came the Thursday, and when he came the Thursday, he told me that, well, it was in the night he told me that he ate something, he bought something at the Dangriga terminal, some meat pies, and he never feeling good. He never feel good after he ate those pies. So I tell him, go to the hospital. He said, no, I'm going the next day, the Friday. When I came home, he still never gone.
It wasn't until the following day that an attempt would be made to have her seek medical attention at the nearby polyclinic in Independence Village.
It was sometime around 12:15 p.m. that the father decided to come out within the village and try to locate a taxi so that he could ferry him to the hospital. But upon his arrival at 12:30 p.m., he found Porfirio lying on the floor inside the house in a somewhat unconscious state. Porfirio was immediately rushed to the polyclinic here in Independence. He was treated and then transported to the Southern Regional Hospital in Dangriga, where he was receiving treatment but passed away sometime around 10 p.m. that same Friday night.
So, did Vanessa Champagne Paris take her own life by ingesting a toxic substance of some sort, or did she die of food poisoning? That will be determined on Tuesday when an autopsy is scheduled. For many, the assumed name is synonymous with the LGBT community in Belize. As a parent who has had a child who has a different sexual orientation, what was that like for you in terms of dealing with your son and him coming out and that sort of thing?
I just try to teach him what is right, but I never try to fight him or try to cause any harm to him. I try to treat him the best I can.
I'm certain there were also challenging times as well in terms of either you accepting that particular lifestyle and dealing with that.
Well, I naturally never like those kind of things, but I will never try to harm anybody because of that. I try to pray for them and help them to change their life.
Those prayers seemingly helped Porfirio to become Vanessa Champagne Paris, the physical transformation of a young man who chose to live his life as a flamboyant woman. Sadly, things may have taken a turn for the worse when he lost his mother recently.
He lost his mom about 2 weeks ago, and he went there the same day that his mom died. He was there with me, and he told me that if he loses his mom, he wouldn't know what would become of him. He would probably have to move out because his mother was the only one that supported him, being the Porfirio, the person that he really wanted to be, Vanessa.
Your son became prominent in the media a few years ago when he was stoned by a mob of people in Belize City.
Yep.
Because he was dressed as a woman and he was walking down Vernon Street. I recall because I did the interview with him.
I know, yeah.
How did you deal with that kind of a situation, seeing as though your son was being targeted for who he was?
I always try to help my son. I give him money, sufficient money to go, to come back, to eat in Belize City, to pay taxi, everything, so that nobody could harm him.
While she may have only been physically attacked twice, at least by our records, she has always been a pariah. When Champagne Paris was arrested and charged in July 2014 for the aggravated assault of Golda Orozco, she found herself in a peculiar situation, as authorities had to make a tough decision whether she should be placed in the male or female block of the Belize Central Prison. In a sense, that situation preceded the quandary that the United States is presently dealing with, where it concerns transgender persons and their use of public facilities. Reporting for News 5, I'm Isani Cayetano.